Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel Sneha for CELPIP and IELTS, and in today's video we are going to discuss some reading questions of IELTS. And if you have watched my previous videos, now you must be knowing this thing that we have already discussed a lot of types of reading questions that are there in IELTS. Now, be it general training or be it academic IELTS, the reading questions, the types of questions that are there in this module, these are more or less the same. It's just that the pattern of the reading comprehension that can vary, but the basic types of questions that are there in this module, these are same in both the format of IELTS. And today we'll be discussing summary based questions that you often find in IELTS. Now, in today's video, if you have watched it, or if you've watched my previous video, it's related to today's video, because in the previous one we discussed flowchart based question. Yeah, so we discussed flowchart based question, and in that video we saw this thing that flowchart based questions are nothing but a fancy version of fill in the blanks, right? So we saw that literally how you have to follow all the rules of fill in the blanks in flowchart types of questions. Now in this summary based questions that are there in your exam, you have to do the same thing again. These are nothing but fill in the blanks that are there in a paragraph. So it's kind of a paragraph that's given to you, and within that paragraph you will find blanks at some places, and you have to answer the the word or words that will appear in those blanks. Now in your exam there may be options given for the summary based question, or these can be without any options as well. So it completely depends on your shift. You can be there in that shift in which this summary based question were there with no options given, or there might be options given for these questions. And let us begin the class now. Let's begin the discussion related to these summary based questions. But before we do that, again, I would like to remind you some of the points that we have to make sure that we remember in order to solve these fill in the blanks or summary based question. And the first thing is order. So your order of the passage and order of the questions, that is again same here. That means your question, they will appear in the same order as the information in the passage. So that means your information related to question number 1 within the summary, that will appear first. Only then you'll find information related to question number 2 and so on. So that is something that you have to remember. It was discussed in the previous video of flowchart based question as well. And the next thing is, in case there are no options given for this summary based questions, you have to very clearly follow the instructions given to you. So if the instruction says that you have to write one word only, you cannot write 2 words as your answer. Otherwise, it's going to be marked wrong. Again, I'm just going to give you an example. So let's say in your instruction, it very clearly says that you have to write only one word, and your answer was car, but you wrote a car. It will be marked wrong because you did not follow the instruction given in your question paper. So make sure that you read the instructions very carefully in case there are no options given for the questions. And remember this thing that the order of the passage and the order of the questions, these are going to be same. All right. And keeping these things in mind, let us begin the discussion. So Let me show you an example of how this summary based question, these are going to look like in your exam. So, as you can see, there is a text over here, and then there is this kind of a paragraph that's given, and within this paragraph, do you see this 1, 2, 3, 4? So these are the question numbers, and you have to fill the blanks that are there with 1, 2, 3, and 4. So this is how it's going to look like. Now this passage, it continues on the next page, so it's half of it. We have the remaining half on the next page. I'll show that to you as well. But before we do that, let's again read some of the things very carefully. Come to the instructions. The instruction says for question number 1 to 4, choose no more than 2 words. That means your answer, it can be 1 word or it can be 2 words, but not more than that. So even 1 word can be your answer. You can choose 2 words maximum, not more than that. If you do it, your answer will be marked wrong for sure. All right. So let's begin the discussion. Now, the text over here, the heading of the text is Lost for Words. Many minority languages are on the danger list. And as you can see, it's a very long written text. It's there on the next screen as well. So you see this? It's this long, right? Now, you know that we already have paucity of time in this examination. We do not have, I would say, many minutes actually when it comes to solving these reading questions, because you have 1 hour, and in that 1 hour means 60 minutes, and in those 60 minutes you have to solve 40 questions, right? And you have to read as well. So time is something that you definitely have to manage in a very good way, right? And to do that in these types of questions, there are some tips, there are some tricks that are going to help you for sure. And these are, just focus on that part of the text on which the question is based. Do not waste your time reading each and everything that's there in the text. If you remember, we talked about these 2 skills, scanning and skimming. I'm going to repeat it once again over here. So scanning is when you search for some keywords, when you search for some key information in the text. So let's say there is a question related to someone's name. So you'll be searching that name in the text. That will become your keyword, right? So keywords, they definitely help you locate, the information in the text. So that is something that you'll be using. And skimming is reading only the main words to understand the summary, the gist of that particular part. So let's say you have to focus on this part of the text from here till here, this part. So for skimming, what you'll be doing is you'll be only reading the main words. For example, you'll read this: half the world, 68 in your language, vanish, 2 generation, 1 language lost every 10 days, never before, diversity shrunk. So what I'm doing is I'm just reading the main words, trying to understand the summary, the gist here. So these are 2 things that we make use of when it comes to reading, and we're going to use them today as well, in today's class as well. Now, as I said, we'll be focusing for these questions only on that part of the text from which these questions have been created. I'm not going to waste my time reading each and every word that's there in the text, because it's a long text if you stick to that approach of reading each and every word that's there in the text, then time management is going to be an issue for you for sure in your exam. So let's see how it is supposed to be done in your examination. Now, as I said, what you're going to do is you're going to focus on that part from which you think the question has been taken. And for that, what we do is we identify the keywords in the summary, and once we have located the keywords in the text, then we read around those keywords to look for the answer. Understood? Now, let's identify the keywords in the question. The keywords there are currently approximately 6,800 languages in the world. So you see this figure? If it's written 6,800 languages, the chances are the text will also mention this figure somewhere, right? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to scan the text for this keyword to locate the part where this information is, because my question number 1 will have the answer somewhere around this part. Right? So I scan the text for 6,800 languages for this keyword. I scan it over here in the first paragraph. I do not see any such figure. Then I come to paragraph 2, and as soon as I start scanning it, I have found my keywords. Once I have found my keywords, now I read around these keywords to come to the correct answer for question number 1. Now, what is the question exactly asking? This great variety of languages came about largely as a result of geographical dash. That means approximately 6,800 languages. How did we actually got so many languages? Because of which phenomena? Because it says this variety came about as a result of geographical something. So variety of languages is a result of geographical dash that we have to find, right? So I know that my information, it will be somewhere here. So I read for this information that what caused the diversity of languages. So it says half the world's 16 languages are likely to vanish within 2 generations. That's one language lost every 10 days. Never before has the planet's linguistic diversity shrunk at such a pace. Now it's talking about shrinking. It's not talking about any phenomena which led to variety of languages. I keep on reading. At the moment, we are heading for about 3 or 4 languages dominating the world's, says Mark Pagel, an evolutionary biologist at the University of Reading. It is a mass extinction, and whether we'll ever rebound from the loss is difficult to know. So far, I have not found any phenomena which caused the variety of languages. Till now, it's only talking about extinction, about loss of languages, shrinking of this variety. So I keep on reading. Then it says, isolation breeds linguistic diversity. Now there is one sentence, isolation breeds linguistic diversity. And if you have seen my previous video related to reading, over there I discussed that when we are searching for the keywords in the text, we not only focus on the exact keywords, we also focus on their synonyms. We also focus on their closely associated words. That means those words that can give the same meaning as the words in the question, right? So, variety is a result of something. Isolation breeds linguistic diversity. Are we talking about linguistic diversity? Yes. Variety of languages is nothing but linguistic diversity. It's paraphrasing, right? We have synonyms. Then what causes linguistic diversity? Isolation breeds. So if isolation breeds linguistic diversity, that means isolation causes variety of languages. So what causes variety of languages? That would be geographical, and the correct answer here would be isolation. That would be the correct answer. So this is how you're supposed to solve it. And remember, the word that you're going to write here, it should be the exact word that's there in the text. You're not supposed to write any synonyms. You have to use the exact word from the text as your answer. So here my answer would be isolation. And am I following the instructions? Yes. It says no more than 2 words, and I have written only 1 word as the answer. So make sure that you follow the instructions as well. So this is the answer for question number 1. Now let's keep on finding the answers for others as well. So now this says, but in today's world, factors such as government initiatives and dash are contributing to a huge decrease in the number of languages. So for this question, we are actually looking for a cause of decrease in the number of languages. One cause has already been given, and that is government initiatives. You see, one cause it's already given. Factors such as government initiatives, and we have to look for the second cause. So this text, it must discuss 2 causes at least that contribute to decrease in the number of languages. And again, what you can do is you can focus on this keyword in the text. We know that something after this information would be there in the text. That will be our answer, because we know the order of the text and the order of the question, that is the same, right? So in this question, after this information related to geographical isolation, there will be information related to some factors in which government initiative will come first, and after that there will be discussion of some other factor. So let's see, where do we find government initiatives? Again, you can scan the text. Scan the text for any government initiative. You can focus on the exact words, you can focus on the synonyms, or focus on closely associated words. So I definitely see something, and that is the change is not always voluntary. Quite often, governments try to kill off a minority language by banning its use in public or discouraging its use in schools, all to promote national unity. And the former US policy of running Indian reservation schools in English, for example, effectively put languages such as Navajo on the danger list. So are talking about government, and government taking some steps which basically kill the number of languages? Yes, for sure. So this is how you scan, right? The change is not always voluntary. Governments try to kill a language. US policy that put language such as Navajo on the danger list. So yes, we are definitely talking about a decrease in the languages because of government initiatives, right? So this information is there, and I know that the other factor that is going to be there after this information in the text, because the order here and the order here, that is same, right? So now let's come to the later part of the text. Let's keep on reading for that second factor that contributes to decrease in the number of language. So now it says that Native Americans have not lost their pride in the language, but they have had to adapt to socio-economic pressures. You see this line? Let me connect it with the previous part. This line in the very end it says, but Salikoko Mufune, who chairs the linguistics department at the University of Chicago, this person argues that the deadliest weapon is not government. When this person says the deadliest weapon is not government, this person is trying to say that the factor that leads to a decrease in the number of languages, that is not the government, but so he's talking about another factor, right? So government, that we have already seen that yes, government policy, government initiative does impact the number of languages that we have, but there is one more factor, and that has been very clearly mentioned: economic globalization, right? So what are the two factors? Government policy, that is government initiative, and the second factor is economic globalization. So this is the answer for question number 2. Now let us try to solve question number 3. So the statement for question number 3, it says, one factor which may help to ensure that some endangered languages do not die out completely is people's increasing appreciation of their dash. So now we are talking about factors that make sure that we do not lose number of languages. And basically we have to answer that what is that one thing that people should do to make sure that these languages, they are not, they do not completely go extinct. So something related to people, and they should be appreciating something. That is what we have to answer. So again, focus on the keywords. Endangered languages do not die. People's increasing appreciation of their, right? Focus on these keywords, try to search them within the text. Now, the text, it says, the loss of diversity may also deprive us of different ways of looking at the world. There is mounting evidence that learning a language produces physiological changes in the brain. Your brain and mine are different from the brain of someone who speaks French. I do not think that anything there related to a factor that can ensure that the languages, they do not die. So I keep on scanning, then I come to the next paragraph. Now this paragraph says, despite linguists' best efforts, many languages will disappear. So here, yes, now we are talking about extinction. That some languages will disappear over the next century, but a growing interest in cultural identity may prevent the direst predictions from coming true. So now I definitely have closely associated terms for this question number 3. See, growing interest in cultural identity may prevent the direst prediction. What is the direst predictions here? Direst predictions are that many languages will disappear over the next century. Some endangered languages do not die. To ensure this, what should people appreciate? What is that one thing? People should appreciate. There should be a growing interest. What should be the growing interest in? That should be in cultural identity. So the answer here would be cultural identity, right? So people's increasing appreciation of their cultural identity. That would be the correct answer. And remember, you have to pick the same words from the text. So this would be the answer for question number 3. Right? And for question number 4, again, I know that the order here, it follows the order here. So the information for question number 4, it's going to be somewhere in this remaining part only. So I focus on the keywords again. The keywords here are, this has been encouraged through programs of language classes for children through apprentice schemes in which the endangered language is used as a medium of instruction to teach people a dash. So now we're talking about apprentice schemes in which the endangered language is used as medium of instruction to teach people something. So we have to find something. So I focus on this apprentice schemes, something related to apprentice, and I definitely see this word over here. Volunteer apprentices pair up with one of the last living speakers of a Native American tongue to learn a traditional skill such as basket weaving. Yes, here I have the answer. How? Again, focus on the keywords, try to match them. Apprentice scheme, yes, we have found the apprentice scheme. What is being taught in this apprentice scheme? That we have to answer, right? That language is used as medium to teach people a. So that means that will be followed by a noun, right? So we have to find what is taught in these apprentice schemes. The thing that is taught is traditional skill. It's very clearly written over here. See? Apprentices pair up with one of the last living speakers of a Native American tongue to learn a traditional skill. So what is being taught in such schemes? A traditional skill. That would be the answer. Again, I am making sure that I follow the instructions where I cannot answer in more than 2 words, and I have used only 2 words as the answer. And this is how you solve summary based questions. So again, I'll be very quickly revising it for you. You have to remember that the order of the text follows the order of the question. These orders are same, so you need not waste your time going to the beginning of the text for each and every question. Just follow the order of the text for these questions. And when you're searching for the answers, search keywords. Try to read only the part where the keywords are. Do not waste your time reading each and everything that's there in the text. You have to manage your time better. And lastly, when you search for the keywords, I only do not mean that you search for those exact words. You should also search for synonyms. You should also search for closely associated terms. All right. So that's how you solve these summary based questions. And I hope you enjoyed today's video. I'll be coming with many more questions for you people. We'll be solving listening and speaking and writing sections in the coming classes as well. As of now, we are focusing on first discussing all the reading types of question that can be there in your IELTS. And as I said, I'll be coming up with many more videos for you people. So keep on watching my channel, SnehaforCELPIP&IELTS. If you have not subscribed to my channel, please go and press the subscribe button. Keep on liking my videos, keep on sharing them with whosoever needs them, and I'll see you all in the next class. And till then, take care. Bye-bye.